Hello, everybody, and welcome back. Today, we're going to be discussing the bank runs and really what coins are kind of that affecting it, and where can we expect some prices for a couple of different coins in today's video. If you haven't already, support the channel, subscribe, drop a comment, and click the bell and follow us for more updates. Ethereum today, right now in this moment, is trading at 1,711. We are above the 200 EMA, which still shows that we're in a bull market, and I think it's going to increase. And let me tell you why. All right, so since the bank run, especially with SVB, which is a huge deal, that they're, of course, they're going to buy it out and they're going to fix however the Feds want to do. You're seeing this big influx. Now, what's happened now? Is this thing really where everybody's just jumping in and buying crypto for the moment because they see banks are jumping out, they want strength? Well, that's a big deal. That's a big part of it. And that's where you see this huge influx in volume, this huge buying, 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 buying. But the thing is it's going to kind of come down a little bit, and I'm going to show you where it's going to stop, right? So we can see from the last couple of days, we're looking at what, Friday the 10th, it really started to pump in, right? We were really dangerously close to actually falling below the 200 EMA, and that was kind of the main issue, is to make sure that we're truly inside of a bull market. Well, right now, I can say that we are officially with Ethereum in that bull market, but back to the topic. We have our area of the resistance is coming up that's really kind of holding us up. And that's where we got. And you see this anyways, even with the hype, even with the push, that did get stopped at around 1717. And it's pushing down. But the good positive side on the days, we've got 17 hours left in the day. It is starting to build up. We have some selling going on. You're going to see that, but it is starting to push back up to around 1800. I think it will reach 1800 fairly easy, but that is the next big hurdle after we get past here is the 1834 area. This is the market structure that you should really be paying attention to if you're buying it for the day or not. But we had this area that was the hurdle before 1664, right? We talked about, and coming down at 1400 was that main line where we don't want to be, and even between potentially $1,300 again. But since everything did happen, it pushed up. Now, where can we retract to? We can actually retract back down to 1600, fairly easy. It's not. It depends on how it's going to reverse. There's not enough data yet to show where the trend's going to go up. We don't have any retracements. It's nothing really viable. I know people are going to say, "Oh, well, this trend line, well, it doesn't make sense," because the fact being that if it's just so unstable, crypto is by the news. That is a fact. It's by the news. Plus, depending on projects that's coming on, you have so many things that really truly affect the market. If there's vulnerabilities that are being announced, it's going to hit it pretty big, right? So there are some blockchain vulnerabilities that's going around right now that can affect Bitcoin, Ethereum, everybody. And that is a major thing that is going to kind of push this back down as well. People are reading this, whales are watching, and this is going to will control the market. So if you think it's just going to be like this market where, oh, well, it's going up, no, you're wrong. So the issue here is what we have with Ethereum is that we don't have enough data to really show where we're going to touch, right? And even if we go to the weekly right here, week's great. But what pushed this week? Well, the SVB banks and the bank runs, right? And if we even drop down to the 4 hour mark, you can see, I mean, the volume's just not there. If the volume's not going to be there for a moment after this. Just people read, they seen, they panicked, they bought. It's a panic buy. But the thing is it's 16, 17 is an average place where we're going to maintain and be. That's just where it is. That's just a safe point. Look, even 15, you can say March 3rd, right? This is where we were, and then it dropped around the 9th. It dropped and it started to pick back up. And we could say that around 1473 or so is a safe area around the beat, to the 12th, right? But then we have the 13th. I mean, this is where it started to pump in. It's just by the news. Now, can it fall back down to 1590 or so? Yeah, that's a high possibility. 1670, I'm going to call it's going to be the support level, so you need to pay attention to that too. So being that let's call this the new support for example, and let's just change the color to not confuse you more. So this is going to be our new support, which I would call that just for, and I'm on the 4 hour. Let's go to the day just to make it a little bit more. Simple. Being that the previous market structure being right here, we need to pay attention to when it starts getting to around 1673. So set your marks. If it starts to kind of fall below that area, that's a good point to either to go short. If you're a day trader, I'm a day trader. I like to take advantage of things. I have some coins that I do like to hold on to, but Ethereum and them I like to day trade. Pay attention. Now, of course, if it's not always that I'm trading every day, but depending on how the market's doing for that day and how the hour goes. So, being that if we touch back around 1670, 1584, if we drop past this and I mean 1590 or so, that is a pretty critical moment to pay attention to. Even here, let's say right in this moment in this area, um, is something to pay attention to. We drop back down. What we do want to see is that we want to see a good momentum candle really build back up here. You're gonna receive some more resistance. I mean, you already see this now, but you'll see some more. Maybe it'll retrace back down a little bit, but we really want to get around 1780 or so, and that way we can have a more positive aspect. Or we're gonna reach 1834, depending on the news. The thing being is with the banks going on, you're going to see more banks starting to run. You're going to see more issues with the banks. The Feds are going to try to bail them out. They're going to continue to bail them out. And you're going to have this yo-yo effect throughout the entire financial industry, whether it's crypto or whatever you're buying. If you notice, gold is shot through the roof. But that's all we have for Ethereum. Bitcoin is that coin that, let's move that. That is, well, took a big jump from that. I mean, we reached the $26,000 mark, which is fantastic. We're coming back down, but just like Ethereum, we're going to see that resistance back to it to 125, and that's where we have. That's why we're trading at 24,895 right now. Now, if it gets around 2384, we can call this area, what we'll do, we'll just make a little bar here. This is going to be what I would like to call our next resistance level. No, I'm sorry, support level. Coming right here, being that the market structure from the 24th of January kind of built pretty strong. It was moving, it was going along, and we have previous structures too also supporting that. So I'm going to call that one as well. So once we get to around and I'm going to pull this over. Once we get moving into around the 23 mark, 22, where we were, which is kind of stable, be paying attention to what kind of candles are really pumping up. We really want to see some good strong momentums. We don't want to see any gravestone dojis right here. We want to see good solid movement market structures. You can't count these candles so much as good solid structures for the market. You can. What you want to pay attention to are these right here. They're showing what they're doing. This was a good push. It came back down, but this also confirmed that that market here is going to reach back. If you ever notice, they're always going to touch right back at the same point, and it's a good point to pay attention to what it does. Right. So if we to make it on the 4 hour mark, we can kind of assess a little bit more to what's going on. What kind of trend are we going into? But the problem being is, I mean, if we go into like let's say, 2 hour mark, yeah, we can draw all of the lines we want. We can like, oh, well, yeah, we can go here. Oh my God, it's gonna break out, right? No, that's not the case. But in a good point, giving the 2 hour mark, if we do go by this, being the previous high, right? In the low. We could say that it's there, but it's not enough data. It's not enough of a candle. So I see people always doing this. But what we do need to see is it to move up a little bit further in here. So this is what I'm telling you. You still can't call it for that because if you need a good momentum candle to push through, and if I jump back, let's say to the day candle, right? Okay, yeah, this candle, all right, fine. But if this candle really starts to diminish and goes down, and you've already entered your trade, you're losing. So that's the whole idea here is to not follow that. So going back to the 2 hour mark, yeah, it looks good. If you count this, you're like, oh, we broke above the trend line. Right, it's good. It's going in. Oh, and also we're in an area, if you pay attention to, we're in an area of resistance, so it's not so good. Now, if we have a good, strong momentum candle coming in, or if we have the soldiers, if you know what the soldiers follow, that's something to be positive about. And inside, now we can kind of move forward and enter a trade, rather, rather healthily, right? But Bitcoin can touch back down to 23 very, very easily. Very, very easily. So my prediction is going to be that we're going to be around 22, 2300. within the next couple of days because I believe the news is really going to affect this. So pay attention to that. Also, Cardano jumped up as well. It took a big, nice heap of change coming from that. Now, I'm not a big Cardano fan. It is trading around 34, but on the daily market, Cardano's been in a bear market. It briefly touched above that, uh, what, back in February, but it fell back down. And then, of course, the news brought it up. But what we started to push back over here. We had some rejection coming on from the previous market structure again, and it's pushing down. And what we have is 16 hours left, and it's still looking like it's going to push back down even further further lower. So 31 is going to be, I'm going to call that 31 is going to be the area that it settles in the next couple of days very easily with this kind of history. So it's getting this huge, massive rejection, and we just don't have anything that's going to be a big pause. So 31, I think is where it's going to stay. If you're thinking it's going to go back up to around 40, it's still a long ways to go. We just don't have anything up there yet. So depending on that, if we jump down to the 4 hours as well, you can see massive selling going on and just not enough strength in each timeline to really kind of give anything positive to say. Now, as far as just the market goes, as far as the cap in the day, Bitcoin 2.2%, Ethereum's at 2.1, Cardano's at 0.8%, just not enough. XRP 1 and 1, AVAX 6 and 1 as well, and TRX is up 1 and 1, and Tron's up by 0.1, which is really nothing. But Litecoin, of course, with Bitcoin is up by 4.5 as well. In the week, you're going to see this huge pump for the with some of the other coins that are kind of going around. You can see like AGX is at 36%, 15 and 61. So drop a comment below. Let me know if you want me to cover some of these in upcoming videos, and I will be more than happy to. But for now, like I said, support the channel. I will see you again next time.